Whistle signals were
Well,
different.
four for lock and three for dam. Three for bridges and four for lock.
Neat. It was really neat.
Yeah.
Some nights you go down there and look, and they had a big spotlight on the front of that baby, and I mean, they were hauling. Those were big, and there wasn't much room for them in the lock. If there was a log, they told me.
Well, they're only
wedge them
the
right in
lock
there.
was 35 foot wide and 168 foot long. So, they were limited as far as. So that's why those tugs were very narrow.
Okay.
They had a cook on that down in the galley down there, and
My dad worked on these from time to time. He was an electrician, and they would call him. He loved to work on the boat because he got to eat.
yeah.
And
Well,
so
Carl Putz was well known. His dad. He did a lot of wiring on the locks and the dams for us, and every time we wanted somebody that knew something about the locks or how to wire them, we always did Carl.
Well,
so he was one of our favorites.
Yeah. He spoke very highly of you guys.
Well, yeah, he's a great guy.
Yeah. Well, thank you. Well,
And they're all named after local cities, which is the Nina, as you can see here. And then we also had the core boat that was the Menasha. And the dredges at that time, we had two dredges, which was the Winnicott, which was a bucket dredge, where it dropped down and had a clamshell or a orange peel that as a bucket. And then also there was the dredge De Pere, which was not a bucket dredge, but it was a shovels one, and that's called the dredge De Pere. So they're all named after cities around here. And looking back in the old records when I worked here, there also at one time was a dredge Appleton and a dredge Amarillo. So that goes way back, I don't remember anything being named after Kaukauna. So
just our luck.
yeah, there could have been, but I don't remember anything being named after Kaukauna.
Was there a tug named Winnicott too in there somewhere?
Now, the Winnicott was a dredge.
That was a dredge.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that was towed by the at that time by the Menasha, and the Nina, I think, towed the De Pere. They all had their own work that they had to do, certain work. And when they rebuilt the last three locks, which are steel gates, and which is Rapid Crush, Little Kaukauna, and De Pere, those they kept the clerk people and did most of the work on it. And I think there's some pictures in our office yet which shows those dredges down there at that time when they rebuilt those locks down there.
When the early settlers came through, they said that you could hear this place before you could see it.
Oh yeah, with the
because of
rapids.
the rapids,
yeah,
too.
yeah,
Yep.
with the noise that it made, yeah. And so they mentioned some good stuff in here.
In fact, I think, am I right? The Greeno home right over here, that's the last navigable point between here and Applin, because I understand a lot of the traders, they had a portage from here.
Yeah,
The
right.
portage from here
right.
to Applin.
Yeah.
They actually carried those canoes 8
That's right.
miles.
I think it's spelled out. You see them out there, and we had a number of those. And what they used to do with the old dams, they didn't have stop log slots where they could put stop logs in and block off the gates for repair. And they have to tow those up here in front of the gates to block off the road.
Aren't those kind of big?
Those cases, they float. They float.
They do.
They don't look like they float, but they do. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. When the water's full, you can. And in fact, the last time that we used those, we started set up an apple. I believe it was. We had to make below the apple and Fourth, and we got rid of the cribs. We had wooden cribs, so we didn't have any use for those anymore because we got stop log slots in all the dams since they've been rebuilt. So we towed those up to Appleton and replaced those old wooden cribs with them. And going up through Little Chute, there was a great big telephone cable that went across by the drawbridge, and these draw quite a bit of depth when you pull them up there. And I guess it wasn't deep enough, and as they went through there, they cut that cable completely off at Little Chute there. And Kimberly, village of Kimberly was without telephone service, and they had to repair that. So I probably shouldn't tell stories like that, but that's those caissons. We used them on replacing cribs, the wood cribs.
With those marks on the side, is that the water level where you got about maybe 3 feet above the darker grade? That's how far they went into the water?
Yeah. Before
Okay.
they closed. What they did, there was 4 cables on the 4 corners, like a bridle that came up, and then they'd back up to with the crane barge and take the crane and pick it up as high as they could, you know, to help float it inside. And the crane barge would sink away in the water, and then they'd start pulling it up.
We'd have to pump those things out because of that
Rainwater. They got a bottom in them.
Were there certain times of the year when you had higher water that you did that? Or would just standard depth of water?
That's a
handle it? Of course, if you got high water, then you get fast water too, then you get more problems.
We used to store those, the Corps used to store them at Little Chute, where they got those diamonds down by Doyle Park, where that was all a slough back in there. And that's where it used to be. There was about 10 of them that used to be down there. And they were real close by. And as a kid, we used to go down there and they drained the water out by Little Chute. We used to play around those things. You know, you could go, you know, it was kind of neat. So it was kind of fun around those old caissons. But then Little Chute wanted to fill that all in to make those diamonds down there. And so these are the only 4 that are left.
They dragged one up to Lake Winnebago and put it out there.
Yep. One is the marker going out to Lake Winnebago.
Yeah.
They just
What do
had-
those weigh? Tons, huh?
Yeah. You used to use them in the back end of the locks, didn't you? Sink them in the back end to seal that off, and then drive steel sheeting in that. Because some of the locks didn't have stop lock slots.
Yeah, they use them there too. Right. Yeah.
Because this sets up so high. See, there's another 8 feet of water that goes in here normally. So all your bolts
This
are
is all up
higher.
to you.
Right, yeah, if you look down there, you can see that.
Now they had cranked this open.
Right there in the middle. We
Yeah.
can walk down to the middle and you can see that.
What are the controls?
There is no control.
This is all
hand operated. Put the rails up on that end. Then the hand crank always laid in the middle. And he put the hand crank in the thing and go around in circles just like we open the lock. And he'd swing this whole bridge out over the top there. And the other end would come over to the shanty.
Well, see, there's the power line.
That was to run the red and the green lights on the bridge for the boaters. Because this bridge didn't open up all the time because there's like 10 or 12 feet of clearance when the water's in here that the 10 or 12 foot boat can go underneath.
I think he had a little bridge house here too.
Yeah, it was up in the bushes here.
Well, what is that? Is that the lock tent?
That's a lock shelter.
Yeah.
That's for the core lock. There for the Tilney Mill.
Over there.
Yeah. And then the core, we dry dock our stuff in here in the wintertime too. There's a summer dry dock which we got. I don't know if you can see you see the regular lock there, Gene?
Yes, I do.
And over to the left a little more, there's another gate. It's like it's a dry dock, and you probably can't see it from there, but there's a little, this to the left. You could probably see that over there, where the other gate's there to the left of the lock. That's where our summer dry dock. Where we could dry dock in case we had problems, or I think we'd even dry dock the tugs in there in the wintertime.
Yeah, that's where you dry dock the tug always.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
usually one barge because you always worked on one in the winter.
yeah. And the other ones they just lay right on bedrock. Davy was one at one time.
Oh, yeah? Did you travel from lock to lock? Or?
Well, I started out in Menasha in 71, and I worked there till 77. So we worked the 1st of May till the 1st of November. And then in 77, I got a promotion down here to the 3rd, which was the lockmaster's promotion. And I worked there till 83, till they closed the locks in October of 83.
Yeah, we
But all
we
those
had seasonal lock.